Hey everyone, welcome to Reawakening Beauty. So today I'm actually doing my podcast live for Reawakening Beauty, and I'm talking about spring and summer mistakes. This is my first time doing this. So you guys are watching live as I do it, as I record my podcast. So yeah, I'm excited and a little nervous. So we're going to be talking about the biggest spring and summer mistakes, and as we're aging, things that we can do to benefit our skin so that we're aging well. So I saw a lot of trends and about people talking about people aging, whether you're aging well or not. And here at Reawakening Beauty, I like to talk about basically things that are going to be beneficial for you long term and to never be fearful of aging. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about is your hands. So many times, I actually think my hands look a little older than I do. My age is actually, I'm going to finally, well, I'm in my 30s. Okay. So I think my hands kind of give away my age a little bit. So I really think it's important to use your skincare and all of that on your hands because a lot of people just think of aging on their face. They don't think of their décolletage. So whenever you're using your skincare or your products, you want to make sure that you're using it from your head all the way down to your neck. So it's basically like, and then the skin on your neck is a little bit thinner. So you definitely want to make sure that you're using something that's highly beneficial for your skin. Um, and you don't want to use something too heavy on your neck because you can get little bumps and pimples. So always make sure that you're using something that's a little lighter. And there are different creams that are designed for your neck just because of the same thing around your eyes. So the skin around your eyes is about 4 times thinner. So that's one important thing. And then using your skincare on your hands. So in spring and summer, I think a lot of us are driving and your hands are getting extra exposure while you're basically driving. So the sun's hitting it, and that's where you can start to get things like age spots. I know that some people were kind of pointing out like Kim Kardashian and certain celebrities where if you look at their hands, you can kind of see their age. And that's just because they weren't aware that you should be like using moisturizer. So if you actually have a face cream at home that you're not typically like using regularly, you can use it on your hands or even on your body. So that's something that you could do to get more benefit from it. The other thing is using sunscreen and reapplying it, especially if it's a physical sunscreen, because when you're out in the spring and summer months, often it's hotter. And when it's a little bit hotter in season, you probably will be like perspiring a little bit more. Maybe you're swimming, maybe you're doing different things. And that means that if you're using a physical barrier, meaning like a mineral sunscreen, it's going to come off your skin with like perspiration or different things that you're doing. So you want to make sure like you're reapplying it. So making sure you're taking a sunscreen or you have it in your bag to reapply, that's going to be something that you want to do. And another thing that I think is like a little miss that people miss all the time with using like their products in spring and summer is not changing out your products in spring and summer. So when you're using different stuff, I've done this series a little bit before, is like we change our clothes because we're in different seasons. So you want to make sure you're doing that. So it's changing your exfoliation for your skin as well. So that would be something that you would want to do. So making sure like you're changing your exfoliators and your creams. So often if you're a drier type skin, it's okay to use things that may have like dimethicone because it acts like as a sealant in the skin. But if you're a combination type skin and you're using things like dimethicone in the summertime, it's going to clog your pores. So switching to lighter things in the summertime and spring is definitely going to be more beneficial. So those are definitely things that I would recommend. The other thing that I think is so, so, so important is making sure that you're using a double cleanse. Now, this is so important to have beautiful glowy skin, is if you're not removing basically the pollution, like you're out in the summertime, you're also sweating more, you're more active, you're doing all these things because of the exposure of the elements, you're using more sunscreen, maybe you're reapplying it, you definitely want to be doing a double cleanse. And that's going to be like an oil-based cleanser, a cream-based cleanser, and then you're going to go in with your second cleanse. You also should be using something different for your eye area if you are using like a waterproof mascara. The reason why a lot of people use waterproof mascaras in the spring and summer is actually because they are swimming, they're doing different things like that. Maybe you're going to like a spa or something, and you want to make sure you're removing it properly, because over time, if you're not removing it, it can kind of harm your lashes. Another little tip or trick that I like doing for my lashes, it's not spring and summer, you can do it year round, is you can actually put on a Q-tip a little bit of like an olive oil or an argan oil, and it actually helps to condition the lashes. So that's something that you can do year round. It doesn't have to be specific to spring and summer, but do be careful if you are someone who is a little bit more oily. You might get like melia on your eyes. So if you are prone to that, maybe don't do that on the lashes. Maybe just like kind of hold your lashes and don't put it too close to like the actual lid, because that could cause like an oil duct buildup. So that is something else that you could definitely do. The other thing that I think is a big mistake that people kind of make is staying on retinol. Now, this is a personal opinion, and I personally do not use as much retinol in the summertime as I would in the wintertime. The reason why is because in there's different studies that say over time it actually builds your barrier, and then you're not as photosensitive. In my experience, that's not been the case, and I like to use myself as basically an example. What I've noticed is that I am more susceptible to dark spots and pigmentation in the summertime. So this is about the time that I would come off my retinol. If I was using it 4 times a week, I would go down to maybe once a week or every other week. Or if I did start to notice my pores seemed like they were starting to like look a little congested, that's when I would maybe use it. But my sunscreen game is higher in the summer, and using antioxidants is always higher in the summer. So those are things that I would definitely recommend. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any other questions. Those are all things that I think are super beneficial in spring and summer. And this is so weird because I recorded basically my podcast live. So if you guys are ever looking for a specific topic, or you want to reach out to me to find out more information, at Reawakening Beauty, I will always be here on my platform on Instagram, or you can actually just meet me on Spotify or iTunes, and you can ask me any questions about your skin. I did talk a little bit about some of the treatments I've done, and I wanted to briefly segue into that because a lot of people were asking me about the PRP that I had done. PRP is something that you could definitely do in the spring and summer. And the reason why I did it was for dark circles under my eyes. I did find a minimal result with it. I was using it probably, I've done it 3 times in the duration. You're supposed to do it every 6 weeks. You actually inject, so they take your plasma and then they re-inject it under your eyes to help with like dark circles. Instead of filler, because filler around the eyes, there has been studies that is linked to cancer. I don't know the exact studies, but I've been hearing that a little bit more because it's actually, I believe it's blocking, I'm forgetting the word, basically not your circulatory system, I can't think of it, but it's basically blocking your lymphatic system. So cancer is more linked to around the eyes. So I didn't feel good about doing filler around my eyes. So I thought that PRP would be a better result. PRP is a little bit expensive. Well, it's not a little, depending on what you consider expensive. It is an investment. So for me to do 3 treatments, it cost me about, I think it was like, the total at the end was about, because I also did it on my face and my neck, it was about $2,000. So it was a bit of a pricey investment. And I did make sure that I waited about 6 months before I kind of talked about it. Is it something that I think you see like huge results with? I think that it would be something you would have to continuously do. And in that case, I think microneedling might be something that's more beneficial. If you don't have as much money to do that, always you could like talk with a provider. I don't actually do beauty services. I just work with people individually on their nutrition and their skin. So some things that you could do nutritionally to help with dark circles is things like making sure your iron's not low, because that's something that can contribute to dark circles. Making sure that you are getting enough adequate sleep, because I know for me, when I look more tired, it's because I'm not getting adequate sleep, and that will definitely make your dark circles more prominent. And then you can definitely use things like masks under the eye. The thing about if you have more of a hollow eye or a sunken eye, things with caffeine are probably not the best. And that's why I went the PRP route, because for myself, like just genetically, I don't have as much fat pads under my eyes. So if you're somebody who's lacking that, that might be something you want to invest in. Again, you want to always weigh the pros and cons of that kind of thing. But I do think like there's these little masks that I use and I put them under my eyes. They're little jellies. They have vitamin C. So vitamin C brightens, tightens, and lightens the skin. That's something you could do. And it's like, I think the ones that I use are like $60. Like they're not super expensive at all. And you just put them under your eyes. Now, if you are prone to like, if you have puffy eyes, sometimes it helps with that. So I don't use them all the time because like I said, I have more concave eyes, and everybody is so bio unique. So depending on your needs and that kind of thing. So you might want to go with like a vitamin C cream around the eyes. So yeah, those were some of the things I wanted to talk to you guys on my podcast today. And I did it live, which was totally different. So yeah, I'm not sure if I will end up airing this. This was a little bit of a different thing, but I will leave it live on here. And it was definitely different. So let me know if you got some value, what you learned, what you're excited to see. And for everybody who is interested in my recipes, the new one that's launching, I will be sending that over to you if you guys are on my email list. All right, talk to you all later. Have a wonderful day, and thank you for sticking around. Okay, bye.